Hello everyone. In this video we're going to talk about Luminaire spec sheets. What are they? How do you find them? And why? What kind of information do you need to find on your spec sheets? Let's get started. So we're still in week 11, part 1, so chapter 8, part 1. And we're talking about our second topic here, which is Luminaire spec sheets. Spec sheet, cut sheet, what are these things? It turns out that spec is a nickname or a shortening of specification. And it means the same thing as cut sheet. These are the two terms that mean the same thing. Spec sheet, cut sheet. All right. What do we use them for? You use a spec sheet to get more information about a specific light fixture. There's usually images, so you'll see a picture of it. There's usually dimensions and any requirements for that spec sheet. You can see what options are available for that particular product. You can review the product, see if it's what you need. You'll find the catalog numbers and ordering numbers, and you can select any of those options and accessories for that product. So on your screen, you see an example of a spec sheet right here. This is the Celux manufacturer, and the product is the M100. It's an LED fixture, and it's a direct indirect distribution. This is page 1 of the spec sheet. I think it's actually 11 pages total, so it's more than one sheet. But and this front page you see is kind of the ordering summary. So after you go through all 11 pages and make your selections, you would record them here on this front sheet and gather all that information in one place. This specific spec sheet, this PDF, is located in your Canvas module directly after this video. I suggest go ahead and pause right now and open that PDF and have them open at the same time. So you can go back and forth, you can zoom in on particular information and have that open for you right now. How do you find the spec sheet for a particular Luminaire? It turns out you find them on the manufacturer's websites. Very, very common. They should all be there. All right. Look for a PDF download. Sometimes the photometric data is a separate document from like the ordering data for the Luminaire, and so you'd have to download both. Most often they are in one document. Okay, where can you not find the spec sheet? On retail websites. So if you are looking at, if you're choosing your Luminaires from a retail site, they most often don't have the manufacturer's spec sheet available for download. What you would need to do is look at the manufacturer's name and the model number and just Google those and go to the manufacturer's website. So we're going to go right now to my example one, and here is the link. I'm going to click on it now. Here we see the website for Celux brand Luminaires, and we're in the products section, and so they've got some categories of products. And we're interested in the M100, so I'm going to scroll down right here. And we see the M100 is a 4-inch wide linear lighting with a variety of optical options. How nice. All right. There are some links for it here, but I'm just going to click on Overview and let's learn more about this particular product. So on the website, you can see a picture of the product and a lot of information about it. And as you choose your Luminaire, you'll want to read this kind of information. All right, but most of this information in fact, all of it should be available on the spec sheet. How do we find it? Oh, we look for a download button usually, because it's usually a PDF that you download separately. So I'm going to click on that one. We want the download assistant. We want an M100. Let's see. We want the fixed one. And I think we want a pendant mounting. And I'm going to select the direct indirect fixture. Okay, so this particular manufacturer's website has you select some options so that you get the correct specification. They all work differently. Okay, I can't tell you anything about any particular manufacturer, but they will eventually all have this information available. So I'm going to scroll down. It says View Spec Sheet and Download Now. Click on that. What do I want? Technical downloads. I want the spec sheet. See that the photometric data is a separate download? Yeah. Let's go for the spec sheet. And we end up with this PDF right here. Oops, it's still loading. This is the same one that's in your Canvas module, so you can follow along with me. Once you've found the spec sheet from the manufacturer, then what kind of information are you looking for on it? The first thing you want to take a look at is I've lumped under the physical basics of the Luminaire. So fixture size, housing size, profile, and its aperture size. Remember, the aperture we talked about a couple of weeks ago is the opening for light distribution. Next, take a look at the aesthetics. The finish color. Are there options? Is it white? Is it black? Is it shiny? Trims, reflectors, diffusers. Are there accessories to choose, such as baffles, louvers, or blades? There's often a lot of different options on these light fixtures, and the spec sheet is how you find out which options go with your particular Luminaire. The next thing you want to look at is its light output and its performance. So you'll look at the total lumen output and the efficacy of that particular fixture. Remember, efficacy is lumens provided or created per watt of energy used. Next, you'll look at the light distribution. First, is your fixture direct, indirect, direct, indirect, indirect, direct, or is it diffuse? Is it a spot or a flood? Is it a wash, a spread, etc.? Okay, there's a lot of different light distribution patterns. And you'll take a look at not only any description of that, but there will be a photometric distribution diagram. And that's right, looks like this right here. Okay. And that'll help you visualize the shape of the light distribution. Finally, you'll also look at any photometric data that might be provided, the candela values in specific directions. This could be in a chart format, or sometimes they could only provide the graph here. So taking a look at this M100 in the photometry section, we see, if you zoom in close enough, it tells us that the delivered lumens are 5,677. The input watts are 69, and therefore our efficacy is 82. It also tells us our color temperature and color rendering index. The next set of data that you want to look at on your spec sheet are this particular light's suitability for your particular application. Is it UL labeled? Is it wet or damp listed? All right, how do you get electricity to this fixture? Specifically, like where do you connect it? Okay. Is this fixture adjustable in any way? Is there glare control, or is there a specific angle at which glare is a problem? And finally, is it able to be dimmed? So dimming, switching, is it instant on and off or not? So all of these can have a big role in how you select your particular luminaire. My last category of information you want to look for on a spec sheet are the lamp basics. Okay, so this isn't shown in the specific cut sheet or spec sheet that I gave you as an example, because it doesn't apply for integrated LED luminaires where the LED is part of the entire thing. There's not a lamp that can be replaced in that particular fixture. Remember, a lamp is the word for like a bulb or a tube. Okay, so in other fixtures that have a replaceable lamp, you want to take a look at the lamp options, how many lamps are in that particular fixture, their shape, their length, how they're mounted in the fixture, which socket they use, any voltage options and wattage requirements, and finally, if there's some other requirements for the ballast or the transformer or the LED driver. I know you all know what those are. Okay, thanks everybody. In this video, we covered what a spec sheet is, how to find it on a manufacturer's website, and then once you have a spec sheet, what kind of information you might find on there. Thanks.